because that book was originally called Eaters of the Dead.
Eaters of the Dead, yeah. Yeah. And because of Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, it became the 13th Warrior. It's like,
Yeah.
because me and my brother saw it in like paperback. It's like 13th Warrior, formerly Eaters of the Dead. What?
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute.
Like, yo, did they change this book title? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, man, so I got while playing today, I was playing a little bit of Warframe, and I finally got the Soma to drop.
Nice.
Yeah, it's the AR. Everybody's all like, "This is the greatest AR to use. If you don't use it, you're stupid." And I'm like, "Well, I have it now. Please, please finish building." So, I mean, we got some stuff to talk about, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have the TWAB up and ready. If not, I can do it. If my phone ever opens, because it decides it wants to be a total piece of dog shit today.
Oh, yeah, I got.
Alright.
What?
Alright, yeah.
What did I mistyped? Oh, Jesus. There we go. I don't know where I was trying to go, but apparently it wasn't Bungie.
It was Bunja, but whatever.
Yeah, super interesting stuff.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was reading it, you know. I had to make a decision. A lot of stuff from, especially next week. Next week is the decision that needs to be made.
Okay.
But we can talk about that when it gets to it. We talked about that a little bit when we were on DTR last night.
Yeah.
Shameless plug for those guys.
Of course.
But what do we say, man? We get. By the way, the recording was fine. So as always.
Oh yeah.
So what do you say we get started, man?
Yeah. We can like stick this pig or
light this candle.
Whatever the Southern people say.
Whatever the vernacular is at this time.
I know, right? So let us see. Twabby, 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 twabby. Yet again. Why can I not? My Chrome does this thing where I can't, like, expand the window from a certain side. Really weird. Anyway. So, yeah. So, this week at Bungie, announcing after Crimson Days, Faction Rallies is coming back. Holy crap.
Did it seem like we just had Faction Rally?
I know, right? Of course, I mean, it's to be expected considering they did, like, push it back.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just seems like I said, it seems like we literally just got out of Iron Banner.
Mm-hmm.
And then Crimson Days, and now Faction Rally is back. Holy balls. Let's see. Everything is in rotation. They are adding weapons to the normal reward pool. A dead orbit linear fusion rifle. Do it. Suros, New Monarchy Scout. Jesus. And an Omelon feature war called Hand Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
Which is also very nice. Also in reward pool are the auto rifles. But all the auto rifles from the reward, ultimate reward, whatever the crap they're calling it.
Victor's reward, right?
There we go. That's a better terminology than I was coming up with. So yeah, all the auto rifles are going to be within the reward pool. So nice. Cannot wait to get a hold of a lot of dead orbit crap. That dead orbit auto. Vice Dark type. Very nice. Let's see. And for the Victor's rewards, New Monarchy has a pulse rifle, as well as Dead Orbit, and Future War Cult has a scout rifle.
Mm-hmm.
Which for some reason everyone wants that scout rifle. It's just don't do it. It's not awful. It's 150. So
Where did you find the layout? Oh, you probably went on Destiny Tracker and looked up the weapons, huh?
oh, of course.
So what weapon would you suggest as to grind for?
Let's see. As soon as I open ye old, well, I mean, having actually recently looked over, at least in the new reward pool, the Future War Cult hand cannon. For being an Omelon is not absolutely awful. See, that's not it. Is it a lightweight? It must be a... Yep. It's called the Defiant. It's not absolutely awful. At least perk-wise. And... Whoops, I forgot to actually... I apparently forgot to grab perks from these things. Oops. That's being caught with your pants now. Anyway, so yeah, so it's not absolutely awful. The Dead Orbit Linear Fusion also isn't bad either. So it is quite nice too. The new Monarchy Pulse that's up for the Victor's reward is Legal Action 2. It is a 320, so slow firing, high impact arc-type pulse rifle. So yeah, considering it's a Haka, it might actually... I mean, yeah. We'll find out. But yeah, very similar to... Let's see, the Eyestein D and the Disrespectful Stare. So it's definitely within those archetypes. Yeah. And quite similar, a little better stat spread-wise than like Disrespectful Stare. So if you have a soft spot in your heart for that one, you like legal action.
A lot of people seem to like that Disrespectful Stare.
I know, right? See if I can find where this Dead Orbit's got pulse is. Because... Oh, there it is. Oh, it's kinetic. It's a kinetic 360, which is actually the same archetype as the inaugural address, Last Perdition, Swift Ride, and things of that nature. That's what was throwing me off, because actually this is actually, Eternal Slumber is going to be the first kinetic pulse rifle in this archetype.
Wow.
They had the adaptive archetype. Again, it's not awful. Let's see if I...
Which might just be the theme of this this faction rally. It's not awful.
They're not awful. They're definitely not like some of the things I would suggest, but they're not bad either. And of course, there's... Holy crap, where... Oh yeah, Eternal Slumber will have Under Pressure as its main trait, which is an interesting perk considering stability and accuracy increases the longer you hold the more you're firing. So that's it's a decent, trait considering it does a flat thing just all the time. And then Legal Action 2 has Rampage.
Ooh.
And high caliber rounds.
Ooh. I have a feeling I know who's going to win.
I know, right? So, there's that.
Yesterday on the DTR, I said I was probably going to go Future War Cult. That was before you dropped the knowledge that the new Monarchy is going to have Rampage and High Cal
Rampage
on a heavy hitting pulse rifle. Which, oh god,
yeah. I've had a discussion in our Discord with Lazarich that I didn't too much like Kill Clip. Yeah, that was like 3 likes back to back. Deal with it. Yeah, I didn't much like it because kill clip is situational, and you have to get a kill and then you have to reload. I didn't really like reactive reload for that reason as well. Because they're strong. It's just highly situational. Rampage, on the other hand, takes away the reload element, so a little better in my opinion than kill clip for sure. So I mean, it might be pretty beastly.
Yeah.
And then Future War Cult Scout Rifle is the dream. I love that name though, which again, not awful. Compares actually fairly well to Garden Progeny 1 from the Forge.
Mm-hmm.
The Forge weapons. Let's see. Perk-wise, the Dream, snapshot sights. So it's a very, I guess, utilitarian. Just it does a thing, for sure. It does have armor-piercing rounds, so it will do more damage to enemy shields in PvE. And we'll give it a nice little range buff in PvP. So those are the Victor's weapons. So, not bad. Not bad, I don't think. I mean, it's a toss-up, because like I said, I mean, the smarter thing to go for is New Monarchy here, because that pulse at the very least is going to be beastly in PvE. So even if pulses aren't like in a fantastic spot in PvP, which they most certainly are not.
No.
Like very tragically. Let me see if precision linear and the dead orbit linear fusion rifle I was talking about is very interesting in the fact that it has outlaw, the dead ender. I know, right? It's definitely interesting. Yeah, and those are basically the whatchalls that piqued my interest. And yeah, so we know. And all right. So again, as part of their ongoing strive for communication, they have brought in John Wisniewski to give us a taste on the exotic tuning pass that he is currently working on, which longtime players will basically remember John Wisniewski as the person that saves exotics after making lackluster exotics. But yeah, whatever. Live, you learn. But yeah, the gameplay goals for this pass, as I say, is tuning pass on exotic gear focused on adding or increasing player power spikes, focus on low usage items, but all items are being considered, and lean into items, establish gameplay, and push it harder. Avoid catch-all improvements that dilute item identity. I love that line.
Item identity?
Well, avoid all catch-all improvements that dilute. I mean, so they still want these exotics to be what they are, and they're trying to find ways to allow that to happen. Which, like I said on DTR, one of the best examples of exotics that they changed was Dragon's Breath in D1, because it became a rocket launcher that left a solar flare. Ooh. To an actual, like, napalm launching freaking, like, artillery thing on your shoulder. Which is fantastic. I think their example that they give is Graviton Lance. Which, again, the functional concept is a weapon that fires 2 cosmic void rounds that create a 0 air resistance tunnel for a high-caliber precision shot to fire through. Which there's a lot of science behind crap like this. Because I think it's basically like an electron pulse that, in theory, you use a use a laser that is, I believe the description is bloomed, which pretty much creates like a tunnel for a directed energy, like electrons, whatever, and creates a nice little tunnel for them to really travel down through. And like I said, so this is like a very similar thing to a lot of these theories and such that I half know. Anyway, so basically, one thing that they're learning is the fact that the Graviton Lance is all spectacle, but not enough utility. Because a lot of player feedback is it's not doing enough damage to stay competitive in PvP. The fact that it launches the corpse away and then it explodes, it's not a lot of it's hard to use that explosion in the way it's intended, other than, pretty explosion. I mean,
so it's all spectacles, no testicles? Is that what you're trying to
say? Basically. All right, so
I'm gonna regret saying that probably later.
Let's see. So the first thing that they want to do, of course, for Graviton Lance is reduce the recoil of the burst and add some aim assist to make it easier for you to hit those rounds. And they're also changing it from a 3-round burst to a 2-round burst.
That's interesting.
I know, right?
Will that be the only 2-round? That would be the only 2-round burst weapon in Destiny, right?
Yes, for sure. Because, I mean, come on, this is like, but yeah, it's, yeah. Because like they've said, like Wisniewski mentioned, is the fact that the Graviton Lance is a 3-round burst where the first 2 rounds do like pitiful damage. But that third round in the burst is A, where like 90% of the gun's damage is, and B, that third round has no damage drop off. It'll hit you from across the map with that same punch, which is probably why most of the time I get killed with Graviton Lances is cleanup. Which is definitely jarring to get killed by that thing. Because all of a sudden it's like, you go to your death screen and all your corpse is just flying, and it's like, what?
Yeah, I just got popped. Oh no.
Yeah. But very interesting also, Wisniewski mentions, this still plays into the fantasy of a low damage gravity neutralizing round, forming a projectile tunnel for the last bullet. It also allows us to ensure the damage per burst is at a competitive level for PvP engagements. In fact, it gives Graviton a slight mathematical edge against other pulse rifles. Mm-hmm. Now, this is a man that when he comes out and says such things, I tend to believe it. Because this is the man that was down with Telesto before any of us. Considering, he has insider information.
Oh, yeah.
He was the first to be capable of being down with Telesto as well, so. But yeah. And for a long time, see our listeners, he had to teach those boys the proper usage of Telesto. So, I mean, it's, yeah, I cannot wait to to be able to, try my head around this new Graviton Lance. A 2-round burst. 1 round does pitiful damage. The next round, no damage fall off. Massive damage. And a 2-round burst. Are you kidding me? And then they're, of course, tuning the ragdoll effect. So that way you can actually use the explosion. It's like, and then we made the explosion bigger. Increased the damage. And added some void field projectiles that seek out remaining targets. It's like, now you're going a little overboard, buddy. It's like he took an idea. It's like, we should do. It's kind of like what they did with Thorn in the first pass. Mm-hmm. I always thought it was like, okay, it needs either a better reload or a bigger magazine. Both. It needs one of those. It's like, hey, here's both. Oh. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then, of course, the ninja buff to burn damage, and Thorn became a monster that could not be contained for a very long time. Let's see. As you mentioned, this is one of the more exaggerated examples to help describe what they're looking to do.
So they
They
want to
said
make exotics feel like, oh shit, I have something special.
exactly. And as he says, at the time of this writing, the weapons that are not getting an update are Merciless, Telesto, Warcliffe Coil, Might Multi-Tool, Colony, Legend of Acreus, and Vigilance Wing. Which is interesting because 90% of these things listed already feel amazing.
Yeah, 100%.
Because, I mean, Merciless is the boss burner. I mean, good God, it is like best DPS damage, practically. I mean, I say practically. And then Telesto. Good God, they made, like, coming back from D1, this thing has so many improvements. Not seeing a lot of use, but I can see that basically Telesto does what it's supposed to do. So whether you think it feels special enough to use or not, that's on you.
I mean, I used it yesterday. I used it last night. It's super fun. Like, it's one of the greatest, like, especially in doubles. I mean, we'll talk about Crimson doubles, I'm sure, in a little bit. But, in Crimson doubles, it's so good because everyone likes to stack up. And if you to stack up, if you're 2x2, guess what happens?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely a wise investment, especially in doubles. Mm-hmm. And like I said, like one thing I mentioned, the fact that the pop rocks, I mean, in D1, they only stuck to a surface for a couple seconds before exploding. I mean, this is like a perfected Telesto because these pop rocks stick. They freaking stay there.
Yeah, they don't
it's
go
like,
nowhere.
Holy crap. And of course, Warcliffe Coil, it's amazing. It's hilarious. It's great. Mida Multi-Tool, it came back as Mida. It does this one thing good, and that one thing is being good. It's just an all-around great. It is a multi-tool. Anyway, and then Legend of Acreus, which, God, I get killed with quite often. Jesus, that thing must be, oh.
Well, you got to work for it, so it has to be good, right?
I know, right? I know. I mean, it does give me hope. The first time I thought, like, even it even crossed my mind that Legend of Acreus would be good, was in Mayhem. Mm-hmm. And someone runs up to me while I'm in full super. That's something I can't remember what. And then all of a sudden I'm just dead. I'm like, what? Very interestingly, though, on this list is Vigilance Wing, which it's a pulse rifle, so right now it's not so bueno. I mean, it's not the worst choice, but still not bueno. But as Wisniewski mentions, some of the above perform well without needing changes, while others, like the Vigilance Wing pulse rifle, are already benefiting from the tuning changes planned for 1.1.4. Everything else had some degree of power utility increase, whether it's simply bumping a stat or some deeper plumbing as described above. We'll be touching a lot of gear with this update, and to truly understand the impact for players requires a lot of design, iteration, and test time. It isn't enough to crank up the damage and run one strike or crucible match with a gun and helmet and move on. Dialing in the right amount of power, testing in all the activities with all types of loadouts, finding the bugs, fixing the bugs, updating the perk describe text to reflect the new behavior, and then handing that off to a localization for translation. It's a ton of work, but we're up to it. We sincerely appreciate your patience. I believe it'd be worth the wait. And that is Mr. Wisniewski.
I mean, they said they want to make us feel like gods. You know what really would make you feel like a god? Buffing exotics. Exotics are supposed to feel like, holy shit. You know?
Well, but then again, not to Wisniewski.
That's true as well.
I mean, he's went on record saying exotics feel niche roles. Mm-hmm. Well, not really per se niche roles, but they help your gameplay, sure. I don't know how to describe it. I'm not the man. But definitely sounds like they're doing... Like I said, what he did with Dragon's Breath was absolutely amazing. They saved that rocket launcher from perpetually being awful. Um, so yeah, so I just can't wait to see what they. Like I said, the changes already that they're doing with Graviton Lance just sounds. Like I said, I cannot wait to get my hands on it. And it's 1.1.4.
Yeah.
Crap, I can't find the
I want to say yes. That sounds about right.
roadmap. Because I can't remember if 1.1.4 is the next one coming up or the next.
I think 1.1.4 is May.
Could be right. There's development roadmap. This image, 1.1.4, is March.
March, okay. It was an M month.
Yeah, for sure. And so all these changes are happening 2 months before the expansion in May. March, April, May. Yeah.
Yep.
I had to remember my months there. But yeah. So this is coming with the... Okay, so yeah, this is part of the Go Fast update. So yeah, this is our next... Actually, no, the next is the 27th. I forget. Even though it's February, we haven't hit that yet. So yeah, this is with the weapon and ability sandbox changes that they were testing or teasing either last week or the week before. Heroic Strike modifiers will be coming. Iron Banner 6v6 is this month. Weekly Crucible playlists are coming. Crucible ammo and gameplay tuning. Nightfall challenge cards will be dropping. Crucible quitter penalties. Very small font. Forgive me. And repeat Crucible map / strike protection. And the exotic weapon / armor sandbox changes, which they do mention that these exotic tuning pass is a stretch goal. So don't be too surprised if it, like they do say it's planned for 1.1.4 still, but things can happen and it could be pushed back to possibly May. Hopefully no later than May, for sure. But yeah, it is a stretch goal, so no surprises if it's pushed back.
So,
which, I mean, really no surprises if it's pushed back.
I just had a thought. Do you think PvP would do well with a voting system? Like a map voting, or, well, I guess in Quick Play it would be map and game mode.
I would enjoy it, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it just popped in my head, hey, you know, a lot of other games have it, why not throw it in? Because...
Especially like your CODs and stuff.
Yeah, CODs have it. I think, doesn't Titanfall have it? I don't want to speak out of turn. I didn't buy it for $12.77.
Yeah, amazing flash sale on PSN, guys. Amazing. Holy crap. It's like, holy crap. Holy crap. Injustice 2 Deluxe Edition. $31.
I mean, we talked about that.
Everything.
We did talk about that yesterday when I went through and I was like, oh man, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
There's a lot of good things on sale right now. Which, sorry, Brother Elijah, for bringing that to your attention after he apparently mentioned no more PS4 games. Then this happens. It's like, sorry, buddy. But yeah, so yeah, a lot of good games. Definitely give it a look. Like, I have it and I have it now often, like, because flash sales have been coming up a lot recently on PSN, and so yeah, just give a look in that deals segment, and you can be very much like me and see something, talk to the wife, and like goes like, PlayStation's mean. Why? I have Injustice 2 on sale. So it's like, well.
I mean, what was the one I saw yesterday that piqued my interest? Was it the Magecraft, I think is what it was called. It was it's a first-person shooter that is all magic and has, I think, what they say, you can mix like 9 different spell types, and we were talking about it, and I was like, oh yeah, this might be the one. This might be it. And I talked myself out of buying it because, you know, gotta be an adult, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. Don't judge me. I'm probably going to buy it today. Not going to lie, I might have bought it last night. I definitely bought it last night.
It was a thing.
It's definitely a thing. But yeah, I mean, I just, that was a thought I had. Voting would be good, but then there would be the grief. The people who are like, oh yeah, let's play Supremacy just to piss everybody off.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's definitely going to be that group of people, and no lie, depending on the day, I might be that type of person. Just forewarning out there. So I might be that kind of guy. It's like I normally don't really enjoy Supremacy that much, but knowing no one really does, I could see me being that guy.
Supremacy is not bad if you have a stack.
That's true. It's definitely a game mode that's better. The more people you drag into it.
Mm-hmm. So we're in the mix of Crimson Days.
We are in the middle.
Yep.
Of ye old Crimson Days.
You and I have played some matches together.
We have.
We've played Burnout.
We have.
We've stomped.
Yeah.
We've gotten stomped.
Massively. Shout out to our first Crimson Days match. Like, holy.
Oh, yeah.
Balls. That team is a freaking warlock and a hunter, and they were just doing all the right things against us, and we're just like,
there's nothing I can do, boss. Is pretty much how it turned out. And then shout out to the team that we played against on the Forgotten Shores remake that could not get anything started against us because they just, I guess, didn't know how range works with hand cannons. Right. But yeah, that first team really put the stomp on us.
It jaded, which is hilarious because it jaded us a little. Mm-hmm. Because normally, just to give the audience a bright picture, normally Buster, surprise, I know, is a very rushing. I don't really want to say rushing, but Buster advances in PvP. Usually, he goes in.
I'm a shock and all troop.
Yeah. So, but considering to even Buster's primary idea, it's like, let's hold out with heavy and
we
have them come to us.
We should hang back. We should definitely hang back.
It's like, So yeah, first match definitely jaded us. But of course, then again, I mean, valid strategy, hanging around heavy because there's only one heavy. I love the fact that it's only one heavy source. Mm-hmm. I wish they did that for Trials. I mean, oh my god, I love the fact that there's just one heavy pickup place. And of course, like I said, a lot of that should be map control, not per se camping, because, well, we definitely, we set up tents at heavy, for sure. I mean, we stayed there.
We strategically held a location for future use.
Exactly. I mean, which, again, it's a tactical thing, and, camping, yeah, is seen as awful. Which, I mean, yeah, all things depending, but yeah, it worked, and by God, especially that Mars map, because Heavy is inside this tunnel. There's 3 doorways. Sure, they're huge, but it's just a very easily defendable place.
Was it Retribution?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I believe so. So yeah, it was definitely a fun time for sure.
Yeah, I actually played last night and made a friend.
Nice.
We played a match against each other on Retribution, and I was playing my Sentinel because I forgot that you can change classes apparently. And I was running suppression nades, and what we didn't know, and we should tell everybody that when you're with your partner, holy shit, you are strong.
Oh, yeah.
That reunited buff is amazing. It increases movement speed, reload, health regen, shield regen, and abilities. I think. I mean, I know Vengeance does. I know once you're killed, you get all that up. You get all that buffed. But I was standing next to my partner, who was a warlock, and by the way, you warlocks,
oh my god,
definitely earn your keep in Crimson Days, because drop that rift, have fun. He, my buddy was my partner at the time. We were just a Blueberry. He was dropping rifts every 6 seconds.
That's about right.
And they were arc buddies, and I was just throwing suppression nades. So we were playing, and we won. And then the next match, he was on my team. I saw he hopped into the chat, the team chat, the fire team chat. So I was like, you know what? Let's talk to a buddy. Let's make a friend. And he was like, hey man, I played against you last round. I said, yeah. He was like, are you playing Sentinel? I said, yeah. He was all he said was, I wanted to scream at you. Your suppression nades were so on point, I couldn't get anything going because you kept taking my grenade away. You kept taking my abilities away. I'm like, that's what we do. That's what we do. And then he was like, he's like, you're wearing Saint 14. I said, yeah. And then he was like, I thought you need a bubble for that. I'm like, nope, common misconception. A lot of people think you just can use bubble. I can use the shield. And he was like, is that why I was blinded? I was like, yeah. I was like, you didn't see me pull my shield up and then just walk towards you guys? Because I did. And I didn't know, surprise, surprise, that shield can take a golden gun shot.
Yeah, it can take two.
Can't take that third one, though.
No.
But it can take that first two, which helps, keeps your team alive. But, yeah, man, we had a good time. I also sent you this week has been pretty interesting for me. I sent you a screenshot. I got a friend request from 420.
Shout out to you, buddy. I did get that same friend request.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Nice.
Like, as I loaded in, it's like, same message, like, yeah, that's... So, yeah, big shout out to Garen.
I
I
haven't had a chance to play, to run some games with him, but I look forward to. I mean, like we say every week, if you send us a friend request, we will accept it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we love playing with people, not giggity at all. You know what I mean? What I say last night? Oh, I'm a night walker. I said on DTR, I was like, that's not what I meant. You know what I meant. God damn it. Oh man.
Oops.
Yeah, but when I logged on and I saw it, I was like, holy shit. Because he put in the message, which we say every time, please put RNG or RNG cast listener or whatever. And his message made me, RNG cast listener, keep up the good work, guys, love it, something like that. And I was just like, oh man, except you're not a bot. You're not a weird porn bot, I hope. But yeah, man, I've been having a lot of fun. I got everything I wanted from the Crimson Days thus far. I got the Amor dance, which is the Cupid shuffle, if you didn't know. I got the Lady Gaga monster dance, and I didn't know it was the Lady Gaga dance until the missus saw it. Like, I did it, and I was like, babe, look at this. And she was like, that's Lady Gaga. And I'm like, that's okay. And I got the single ladies dance, which is the one I really wanted, because I just think it'd be funny popping my bubble while we fight the raid lair and doing the single ladies dance at the end. I just think this will make a great video. So, what did you think, man? Like,
I've had a lot of fun with Crimson Days. I was a brave, adventurous soul, and I did a lot of solo queue. Which I didn't realize exactly how strong Stormcaller still was until playing, because I wanted, as soon as I found out, realized, it's like, wait, I can actually have two rifts active at the same time. Because cooldown, and when you're right next to your guy, that cooldown is so ridiculously low, you can have 2 active rifts. So you can pick and choose exactly where you want to stand. So I saw that. It's like, you know what? This is a job for ARC buddies. So I swapped over to Stormcaller primarily for ARC buddies. Just to add like a little extra punch. Oh my God, it was great. I told the story on DTR, but I mean, it was just amazing. Like being on Infinite Shore, I believe it's called, and hearing Golden Gun pop and like seeing it in the message screen and knowing it's like, all right, they're in that little area. They're on the platform near B. So he's coming through tunnel. So I saw red on the radar, not wanting to actually peek because, I mean, you peek on a Golden Gun and you could die. So I floated above the doorway leading out to cave. As soon as I saw him peek out, pop super, landfall hit him, just annihilated him. And it was great. That was the only kill I got in Stormtrance, but I didn't care. I was roaming around the map looking for his partner, but it's like, you know what? I don't even care. Let me circle back around to heavy and
let me get this heavy real quick and see what happens. Oh, everyone dies.
It was amazing. It was great. And then having another feel, because most of my Warlock matches were actually not against 2 stacks. It was just a bunch of blueberries.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was like really, really cool. But there was one match that I can't remember if I was on my Warlock or my Titan at the time. But it was a 2 stack against me and Blueberry. I was already accepting the trounce if it happened because it's 2 stack. I mean, when 2 people are communicating and 2 people aren't, it's like the advantage is definitely towards the 2 people who are communicating. So it's like, all right, if we lose, it's understandable. It's all good. But I'm gonna go in as hard as I can.
I'm gonna try my hardest.
Yeah. So we were getting trounced 2-0, score wise. But something happened. I think I ended up like popping super, which I'm wanting to say it was actually on my Titan because I think it was popping hammers. Just like cleaned up 2 or 3 kills in super. And then all of a sudden we came back all the way and won. Like the entire thing. And it's just like, wait, what? Mm-hmm. It's like me and this Blueberry just came back and took it all away from this stack team. It's like, wow. Like that feels pretty good.
So, I mean, I don't want to repeat the entire show from yesterday, but Jay had a great question. What do you think? How do you think that Bungie is doing now with the whole event situation? Do you think it's a step in the right direction? Do you think that they could work on something like, what's your feeling on it?
I mean, essentially, pretty much from all aspects, Crimson Days is, I feel, it's just a great addition to everything. I mean, to go like a complete 180 from the Dawning fiasco, and it's actually hard to believe the fact that you go to test and you can't buy this engram.
Nope.
From tests. I mean, it's just not there. And even though there was apparently a bug in the system showing that you could buy it from tests for some people, but then you couldn't actually complete the purchase. So, but yeah, there was that. So, but yeah, there's a way to buy certain things, yes, but not. I mean, they want you to play the game, get the things. Like that way, and I think it's really, really good. Like where it's sitting right now, and if nothing changes from Crimson Days, like to, like if this is the system that they essentially use, I wouldn't be that mad.
Step in the right direction, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, there will be like improvements and things, but at the same time, it's like if they don't, I'm still okay because I mean, it's a nice system.
my one criticism, and yeah, I can have a criticism about Destiny 2. I'm not not the shield that everybody thinks I am. When it comes to the shaders, and yeah, I know Titan that wants shaders. Surprise, surprise, right? We like to be pretty. What can I say? I was a little bit disappointed in the fact that they repeated. They do have two unique shaders for this event. Cool. When I looked at the possible gift shaders, I was a little bit disappointed when I saw like 3 or 4 of the ones that I have. I don't know, about 60 of. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like
The purple one, the dot
Nebula Rose,
Indigo Matrix,
Arctic Dawn, I think.
Yeah, but I understand. Like, do I understand why they put them in? Yeah, because they're loud, they're bright.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they fit in with the theme, but yeah, I do. It's like I've actually known. I was in a party with someone that actually bought or picked up like 3 of the. I forget what it's called, but used some bright dust to pick up some of the shader packs, and ended up getting none of the Crimson Days shaders. So I mean, that is something that I feel could have been done a little better.
I mean, they could have waited. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna put original, I want to say Destiny 2 shaders, the ones that you can get from Tess Everest on the weekly reset, or from just random drops in the however you get them. The event shaders should be weighted heavily.
Yeah. They definitely do.
Much more heavily than they might be. I don't know. I've gotten a few of the shaders for the event, and which is cool because, like I said, they're really cool looking.
Oh yeah, I freaking love Crimson Valor.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
It's like that red and black. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and speaking of red and black, you know what's coming soon, buddy. And I mean, when we say at the end of the show, our patrons that are in our Patreon are going to get something special. I mean, when I say it's too sweet, I can't give any more hints than what it is. But you also... I mean, we actually did what we said we were going to do and did a Patreon exclusive episode, which was super fun. We did with Honus 5 from the Rasputin Radio podcast, who actually will be on this show next week. And I think we'll be on theirs on Friday.
Yeah.
So, I mean, looking forward to that. But I actually like them both, to be honest.
Yeah.
Hold on, I know... the names escape me. Surprise on that one, right? I can't remember names. The Crimson Valor, that's the one with the pink in it, right?
It might be, but I think it's predominantly red and black.
Yeah, Crimson Passion, that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, Crimson Passion is the one with the pink in it. Very Bret Hart. Which I'm super cool with. Yeah.
I mean, Bret and the Hearts made that look work.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what I'm down for. I like the gaudy ones. I'm into. Surprise on that one, right?
I know, right?
But I'm looking forward to seeing what they have for. I mean, what could be the possible next event?
Well, sadly, actually, unless they come up with something new, there's not usually anything in the live team up like super recently.
Until Festival, right?
Yeah. I mean, Festival would be the first, would be the next live team event as far as I know, because we had no steady or, no. The midsummer is usually the time like for Taken King and Rise of Iron. This was like the big update. Time of the year, basically.
Yeah.
Like Age of Triumph and Yeah, the Age of Triumph was basically between it. So there's not really anything I can think of that they could do, to be honest.
Hmm. I
But
mean,
just
you know, I'm gonna say you know what I'm gonna say. Queen's
what?
Wrath.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't. I'm just not 100% sure that that would quite fit in so much.
Well, yeah, because we
I
have
don't know.
there's no the Fallen really aren't that key of an enemy anymore. Now they're just kind of like, oh, I'm just gonna run around and fuck shit, try to fuck shit up in the in the EDZ. They're not like the main
Besides, I
beginning.
actually still think I do still think Uldren is Kell of Kells.
Oh yeah. No, I'm with you on that one.
Because one thing that was getting some people was the fact that the new class, the Wretch,
Hmm.
the fact that they use spears. And I was going through and I was reading through some information concerning Marasov and all this, that, and the other, because there's the theory that Marasov, through some reason or another, will be the Taken Queen. Um, which, on one end, I can get into that, but the fact that the Fallen, as an enemy type, never used a spear before in the games, it was kind of like, well, why?
Hmm.
Other than the fact that their primary, that they didn't have a house in purple, but we know the Reef uses purple and gold. And then we also did see Fallen using spears in Destiny 1. It was in a cutscene, one of the 3 in the base game. Marasov's Vandals had spears.
It did. Huh.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm thinking Uldren's behind the Fallen. Like, why they're still hostile? I don't know. But I'm definitely thinking Uldren is behind the Fallen right now.
Well, I mean, Aldrin doesn't like us. It's well
Exactly.
known.
Yeah. I mean, come on. You want us to die getting the friggin' Eye of the Gate Lords. I mean,
And
yeah.
then we show up like, we got it. He was like, what? What? Wait a minute.
Exactly.
You guys survived. I'm like, oh yeah, we totally survived. We're don't you
He
know?
saw that. He saw the disdain. Is like, fine. It's like, oh, but this one won't do. It's like, fine. Here.
Mm-hmm.
Such a spoiled sport. But yeah. So I mean, there's that. But yeah, like I said, there is popular theory that Marasov will be the Taken Queen, which I don't think she's going to be the prime. If she's featured in the, you know, poster leaked or community named Taken Queen update or expansion rather, I don't think she's going to be the main villain.
I hope not.
Like, well, I mean, she might be kind of like Callus. If she is like a central focus, she'll be like Callus, but I don't think she's going to be what some people think she is. I don't think she's actually going to be on the side of Savathun. I don't think there was any previous work with Savathun like some theories floating around.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, a being that already has the capability of summoning harbingers through her dealings with light and darkness would be an incredibly tempting target to take.
Oh yeah.
And you could only imagine what she could become taken. But yeah, that's what I think. I think if she is in this, that's what I'm thinking. I don't think like I said, I don't think there was any previous work with Savathun, but I do think, like I said, it could be a reason why she hasn't showed up. Like Savathun might have like plucked her out and was like, "You're mine now."
I mean, I said this in the Barely ADS Discord. And I realize that I speak in hyperbole, and I don't think a lot of people know. I mean, I hope
Yeah.
people know I live in hyperbole.
Yeah, because if Buster would abandon Destiny 2 as often as he said he would,
Yeah, I wouldn't play.
I mean, you never would have got it. Like you were kind of out on beta, so I mean,
yeah. I mean, I said if they killed if they took away Scene 14, I'd leave, and I mean, I'm still here. I live in hyperbole, people. Come on now. Upon thinking of it, if let's say Savathun took Mirasol as the sort of like as her champion, we'll say that. That would be like Kerrigan in StarCraft.
Yeah.
That would be our Queen of Blades. That would be our oh shit.
Because, like I said, to the effect that even without that, any kind of source, because she has no source. She has no exact source. The Taken have the Hive have the worms that give them their connection to the darkness. We have our ghosts that give us and the Traveler that give us our connection to the light. Mm-hmm. She had no source, and she could summon the Harbingers.
Which is ridiculous, because I think she's the only being to summon the Harbingers, correct?
Exactly. Well, her and with a Teshian aid, but at the same time, it was a power strong enough that forced Oryx to activate his throne world and annihilate the rest of his fleet.
That's like, oh shit.
Yeah. So, I mean, he may not have been too worried, but still, there was that thing. It's like, you know what? I don't want this to hurt the ship too bad, so I'm just going to do this thing right here, and yeah. So, I mean, it was something that Oryx had to take action against. Yeah. And the fact that, again, she has no, source plugin, like I said, any of the others do. To give her that source plugin and to give her some kind of access is like... Mm-hmm. But yeah, also, I do have to kind of apologize, because... I was misspoken when it came to lore, because Marisol was definitely in communication with the Nine.
Oh yeah,
I had forgotten how much communication, because there was a Grimoire card that mentioned, they got a message from the Nine because they were getting antsy that Uldren and the Crows were kind of poking around, and she's like, "Well, let's give them a gift," and that's when she sent off Skolas, and so she was in. Like I said communication at best, but. There was definitely some kind of back and forth between her and the Nine. Maybe not a lot, but yeah, she definitely played a lot of fields. A lot of fields.
I definitely see the Reef now as more Game of Thrones, like the kingdoms. You know what I mean? It's very Westeros. No, I wouldn't even say Westeros. It's very King's Landing. I mean, let's leave the brother sister love out of this, but come on now, we all know how Uldren looked at her, and
I know, right?
Looked at us when he realized, yeah, this Titan could get that anytime, buddy. But yeah, I mean that popped in my head earlier this week. I was like, oh shit, that would be our Queen of Blades.
Yeah, it would.
That would be the. I mean, we all remember. Well, us StarCraft players remember when we played through the Zerg campaign. It was protect the Chrysalis, and we're like, what's in this?
Oh man, well even before then, playing through Terrans,
then they took her.
Kerrigan being such she was a really strong hero unit, because ghost units were freaking strong, and then Kerrigan was a hero ghost. It's like, wow, this chick is nice, and all of a sudden she's gone. It's like, oh, whoa, what the crap? And then you move on to the Zerg campaign, and it's like, protect this thing. We are mutating or gestating this being, and you're like, what is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
2 + 2 is 4. I know what it is, but I want you to tell me what it is.
And then out comes Kerrigan, Queen of Blades. It's like,
Now, correct me if I'm wrong when it comes to the StarCraft lore. It's been a few years, but she was the only Zerg being that was given free will, right?
Essentially, yeah, because she had a connection to the hive mind.
When she was a human, she had a connection.
Yeah, so I mean, she had a connection to the hive mind, but she literally, especially, I can't remember if she did it in the main campaign, but in the expansion, she became the overmind that you answered to. So yeah, she took over with I guess spoiler alert for what, a 20-year-old video game. Come on, guys. But but yeah, so yeah, she actually took over that hierarchy, and then all of a sudden, your character who exists, in the Zerg campaign exists within that chain of command, hive mind hierarchy. You're answering to her. So I mean, actually, yeah, Kerrigan is like an excellent analog to Marasov. Because Marasov did that to the House of Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
She became their overmind.
She took the house over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that is an excellent. Which I mean, and even if she was in cahoots with Savathun, like behind, I mean, it can still fit, essentially from the lore. Because I mean, it was Eris that came to the Queen and saying that Eris basically didn't care how, but she wanted orcs defeated. And Marasov just like smiles and it's like, then let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it can go either way because of course Savathun would want orcs down because orcs was the only thing in the way of Savathun like taking over, and cunning and trickery is her thing. Blah blah blah. But yeah, it still fits because again, the Queen of the Reef played multiple angles. She made tenuous allies to the Tower. And then she was in communication with the Nine, which, I mean, we still don't know much about the Nine. So, I mean, like the emissary talks to us now, and we see an emissary, which I was actually like completely surprised that it wasn't another squid face.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it was actually something different.
They look like ascended beings.
Yeah, they kind of look like a Woken.
Yeah.
The emissary does.
Yeah.
So I mean, and the fact that there's like, what, at least 4 of them?
Yeah.
Because the more you go, the more you win and go flawless. There's a new emissary on each platform.
Are they different though?
Oh, well, I mean they're identical, but yeah, they still exist on their platforms. I mean, if someone's up on the second platform, I mean, I don't know if it's just game design or if there's actually like a horde of them, but if you stay on the first platform and your friends are up on the second or third platform, each of you has an emissary to go to, and they're all identical.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah. So there's multiple of them, I believe, which I mean doesn't seem too far-fetched. For the 9, I guess, considering they do have squid face. And of course, the emissary doesn't quite have the same. I don't think they quite have the same. I think Xur has a little more free will than the emissaries, even.
See, I picture Xur like a werewolf.
well, I mean, that's the thing, because Xur will stand there and tell you, it's like, my will is not my own. I have to do this thing. But the emissary literally speaks on behalf of the 9. There is none of this. Or at least not that I've heard. I haven't heard any like conflict or anything.
It's like they're speaking. So. Basically, the emissaries are like the speakers for the 9.
Sort of. I mean, come to find out, the speaker really didn't do anything, but
yeah.
He didn't. Oh yeah, and speaking of like lore and crap, like. Did you read the second part of the Osiris comic?
I did not.
Oh, dude, it is so good.
I will have to go and check it out. I mean, you know how I feel about the speaker and how I feel about Saint 14. You kind of can't talk. I mean, for God's sakes, I'm a new monarchy guy. I mean, you should know how I feel about things, but you can't talk bad about the speaker to me. You can't do it. And I mean, let's just be honest. He was kind of a dickhead.
He was.
He was kind of a dick to Osiris, and I'm like, I was like, hey, bud, hey, I mean, we didn't rescue you. That kind of means something. We don't need a Apparently, we don't need a speaker because we don't have a new speaker.
I mean, then, like I said, even in the campaign, like having having him outright admit it's like, I speak for the traveler. The traveler doesn't speak to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Wait, what?
mm,
Well, that sounds very popish to me.
I know, right? Because I mean, it's like, it's very, very. I mean, I immediately got the choice of words as soon as he said that because even in D1, I speak for the traveler. It's always been like the thing that identifies the speaker.
Yeah.
Not the fact that the traveler talks to him. No, he spoke for the traveler.
No, he's not the hand when it comes to Sky. He's not like the speaker in Skyrim for the Dark Brotherhood. The Dark Mother does not talk to him. He just speaks for it.
Yeah,
which means
he's not like the mouth of Sauron.
No. Man, how many nerd references can we go for this? I'm just wondering, you know what I mean? Like, how many nerd references can we get with this?
It's like if we dig. Oh God. But yeah, so I mean there was that. But yeah, I do enjoy. I did enjoy the second. It's a good read. It's very, very interesting. And oh boy, does the argument between the speaker and Cyrus like really come to a head? Like, holy Christ.
Oh yeah, I bet.
And it really gives you a picture of like what Ikora went through too. It's like, and Shax does appear in the second chapter.
Okay.
Not a huge role, but at the same time, it's very interesting because you see him with an intact horn.
Oh, with both horns?
Yeah.
Nice.
He actually has both horns in his helmet. So I'm guessing, like, I don't know. I'm personally thinking he lost it in Twilight Cap.
And you just kept it as like a sign of like a badge of honor type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, as we know in the lore, I mean, he became instrumental in even in anything that happened in Twilight Gap because he continued to push. But yeah. Yeah, it's a good read though. Yeah.
Sort of like how the Necromonger kept the knife in his back that Riddick had to take. Oh, another reference. Did that guy have a name that you remember?
I only remember his title of the Holy Half Dead.
Well, no, that was the Lord Marshal.
Oh no, wait, yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking.
Oh crap.
I'm a Riddick fan. I don't know if you knew this or not.
Oh yeah. I mean, come on. After many episodes and the keep you, especially during like the Book of Sorrows,
Books of Sorrow,
and the keep what you kill references.
Yeah. I mean, truth be told, I'm debating on getting I'm tossing around the ideas of getting a tattoo, and I might get the Conquest icon.
Nice.
The thing that the structure that drops.
Yeah.
And then when the Lord Marshal slams his staff in and activates the Annihilator totems, it opens up and drops that big beam of energy. I'm thinking about getting that.
Yeah.
You know, every nerd needs a nerd tattoo, and that would be, I mean, my second one if you count my sword, the swords on my hip.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta have Zanpakuto if you're a Bleach fan, right? But I mean, I am. I realized when I put that out, when I wrote that maybe, I mean, a few people probably understand, like I said earlier, that I live in hyperbole. But I'm like, I don't really mean that. I've had 90. By the way, happy episode 90, brother.
Oh, yeah, indeed.
We are marching slowly but surely towards that big 100 and then 104. I don't know what's a bigger deal, really. Is episode 100 a bigger deal in podcasting, or is 2 years a bigger deal?
Personally, 2 years.
Yeah, I would think 2 years, right?
I mean, because I know a lot of people make a big deal out of episode 100, but I mean,
if you wait 4 weeks, if you wait a month, it's right. You know what I mean?
It's like right there. Like 2 years is like right there. But yeah, because I've noticed it's like the first year is like a big thing, and then episode 100, and it's like, I don't know. Because I mean, for a long time, like your anniversary is very close to like the big round milestones that people like. So I don't know. For me, it's the anniversaries.
Yeah, for
Or
the actual
definitely, like,
years. Right?
yeah.
Yeah, because anybody who can put up with me for more than a year, I mean, you're a fucking saint. Just think about the missus. She's been with me for 5. She's been with me for 5.
That right?
She's a saint.
It's like, actually, in a couple months, me and the wife will be married 10 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is crazy.
It's crazy to think about.
So, do we have any more Destiny news to talk about? Oh, I think I asked, but we kind of like got stuck in the RNG talk. What faction are you pledging for this faction rally? Which one would you suggest being the weapons guy?
I want to say, of course, Future War Cult, because it would be nice to get a Future War Cult win. But then, I mean, Future War Cult should have had their win weapon-based. Like, the first win should have been Future War Cult. But
I can't argue that point you just made.
because basically, at least up until recently, there's no reason Dead Orbit should have won.
That first one?
Or, yeah, the first couple, actually. Because, I mean, they just had meh. But, I don't know, I would have to say, like, for the victor, like, for a cheap victory reward or the availability of the victory reward, New Monarchy. For that pulse.
Yeah.
There's high impact pulse with Rampage. I mean,
ridiculous, right?
It's nice. It is nice. But then it's like Dead Orbit's most interesting weapons are in their packages now. So, I mean, there's that.
Yeah, there's the linear fusion rifle and the auto rifle. That's the Vice style, and I mean, I am loving my Valiant Caden that is masterworked.
And this is definitely because I think I mentioned in our Discord, I actually went through and did my normal thing for weapons, and I did like a massive like stat comparison, and came out with like what I call my keepers. Like if I ever run across these things, I actually have a list of weapons I want to keep, and like with my mentality, I automatically keep like the limited weapons. It's like Trials weapons, raid weapons, Iron Banner, faction rallies. Those weapons are like automatic keepers for me.
Yeah.
Because they're not always around. I mean, well, raid and Trials, sure, are always around, but I mean, I'm not always doing raids and Trials. So, I mean, those are weapons I definitely keep just in perpetuity, and those will be the weapons that normally clog up my vault. Even after I spend a lot of time to clean it out. But
because they're unique. They have a unique design.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's that. So I have them down. It's like I have like best weapons taking these unique weapons into account. And then I have weapons that don't, that are like easily accessible like all the time. And I actually looked at the stats, and it's like I found out Halfdan is a little better than Loquidor, at least from its stat spread. It's like it was close, but Halfdan just barely won out in a stat comparison. But yeah, things like Orman's Anvil, I cannot wait.
Oh my
for that
god,
to become available.
That's the
450 kinetic
for Iron Banner, correct?
Yeah. This is going to be the next, hopefully in the next Iron Banner. I don't see why not, but yeah, it should. It's the origin story archetype, and well, also to be fair, it's also the second 450 kinetic. But you know, it's a close call. But yeah, that and like, I said, looking at the stats, I found out like Jiangxi might actually end up being a sleeper 450 energy auto from the gunsmith.
Just
saying.
Is that a blue?
No, it's purple.
It's a purple?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's like the Perseverance type.
It's it's another Omelan 450 energy, so it's kind of like Uriel's and the number and stuff like that.
I meant like body design. That's what I meant by
Oh no, it almost looks. I think it takes more after Uriel's in body design. I think. But yeah, that's one I have to like rechase after because it's like between that and like positive outlook for that slot for me.
Okay.
Um,
That's a weaponsmith drop.
yeah, it's gunsmith, primarily. Yeah. Well, since I started, let's share.
Yeah, that was the segue I was looking for there, Des. I was hoping you would just keep going in there.
But yeah,
maybe
also,
maybe the return of the RNG recommends, because I think I have a few that I could recommend.
let's see. But of course, like I said, this is like also what I've normally like. Disclaimer for our listeners out there: this is also what I normally do with guns, which worked very well in D1 because perks were random and I didn't consider them a lot of the times. It's just looking at like what has, yeah. So perks were randomized, so I didn't really take them much into consideration when looking at the best weapons. And by looking at the Featherstone, which is a pinned tweet available on my Twitter, there's basically these ranges that the stats fall in. Of course, now being color coded, which I actually remember a day where I had to do this by hand, but thanks to spreadsheet functionality and the power of learning, it's actually an automated system now. So I look through these weapons and see what has the fewest red stats, essentially. And of course, like look at like very important stats, like range and like for autos, range, stability, even aim assist, reload, a little to a lesser degree, things like that, and taking a few things into consideration though. But so again, like for your 360 kinetic, it's half Dan. There's no 360 energy. And then 450, there's only two, or there will be only two once Ormon's Anvil's out. And at least stat-wise, Ormon's will be a better option. Of course, it's hard because Origin Story has Rampage, and it's hard to give that up. So that is like one reason why I do still specifically list Origin Story, because it does have a powerful perk. Jiangxi, like I said, is a good sleeper. The 450 energy. Followed very closely by Positive Outlook, and then Positive Outlook has Kill Clip, which I'm not a fan of, but again, it's strong stats. And also pretty much on the par with Positive Outlook is Prosecutor from Trials, which is really fun auto. And even though sadly, it's like, I know it's not, like stat-wise, it's kind of not great, but the number just feels amazing. So
I've started using the number in the Crimson Days, the Crimson Doubles playlist. I've started using the number, and with Ricochet rounds, I can reach out and touch you way farther than you would expect.
Exactly. I mean, I think it's pretty much just that, because I don't have a feel for like Uriel's for some reason. Like even when it was the meta to use with high caliber rounds, I just didn't have a personal feel for it.
It's the sight.
I don't even think it's that. Like I've gotten used to Omolons since D1, should I say? Because Omolon sights and D1, yeah, they gave me a run for my money.
A lot to be desired, right?
Yeah. So 600 RPM kinetic autos. I'm all about that forward path right now. Like, oh my god, it's like I said, stat wise, it's amazing. It feels amazing. Get it, use it.
Tap the trigger is really good too.
Yeah, if
you learn how to feather that trigger, that tap 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 tap, it makes it so stable. It levels out quick. Oh
yeah, for sure. And then for 600 RPM energy, Null Calamity 9 from the forward Lost Prophecy weapon. Again, like I said, stat wise, it's like head and shoulders above like almost everything else. And it's incredible. It has Zen moment. It's like, are you kidding me?
I masterworked mine.
Yeah, I mean, I may have as well. If I didn't, soon. I mean, I tend to be a little greedy with cores, though. I'm sitting on like 30 of them.
Yeah, that's how I felt. They made it very like a. It's a very no. I mean, I got to really think about what I do with this one. I can't. I mean,
Exactly.
Coors only come once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, and like for me, it's either like it's what's the saying? Is drought or feast or famine?
Feast or famine.
Yeah. So I mean, there's some weeks I'll like hop on, I'll do these things, and I'll get like six weapons, and then there'll be the couple weeks where I don't get any, and it's like, ha. But yeah, no Calamity 9 for sure. Making very close seconds are Martyr's Make and Galliard 42. Martyr's Make, I believe, is Crucible.
Yes.
If I remember offhand.
Yes. Shaxx has it for sale at this hour.
Nice.
Because it rotates every time. And the Galliard is blue, right?
No, it's purple, and that's another gunsmith. You're not going to find any blues in this list.
Okay.
Just as forewarning. I list blues and greens and even whites in the spreadsheet for viewer pleasure and comparison. I don't consider them. It's just me. Let's see. There right now is no 720 kinetic. There is one in the list for Dead Orbit.
Huh.
No, wait. Or there is only one. Yeah. There's one from Dead Orbit. Holy crap. Duh.
That's the fuck. What's it called?
Yeah. I'm right there with you.
It's not good. It's what it should be called.
I know. I mean,
it doesn't feel good.
It's not super awful. It's just
it's wonky.
Yeah, it's a little weird. So yeah, I didn't list anything there because there's only one option. It doesn't feel amazing. So all right.
Escape velocity?
No, that's the sub.
God damn it. It's gonna bug me now.
Hang on. I can look it.
Yeah.
Real fast because that is a rapid fire frame. Guiding Star.
That's right.
So yeah, so they have a Vice like, well, it's not Vice because Vice doesn't do kinetic, but it is a Vice like auto. And then hilariously for the good timing, because for the next faction rally, you will be capable of getting Hollow Earth, which actually is my recommended. Is pretty much like best for the 720 energy, like stat wise. It is an Isu, but then again, oh no, I did. Where is it? Right, Hollow Earth, and it has Zen Moment.
Ooh.
Yeah, so imagine no Calamity 9, but faster and probably able to hit like that max stability like even faster.
Yeah.
And Hollow Earth has ricochet rounds.
Huh.
So it's like, what the crap? It is pretty much like the best of all worlds right now. Like, ricochet rounds is his first perk, so it's going to have that by default. And then Zen Moment, so you can reach out and touch people a little further, and it'll get more stable. It's like, that's a nice little setup. But a very close second, and like I said, not considering those types of weapons, is Valakaden. Mm-hmm. That is my choice. I tried Perseverance for a while, but yeah, Valakaden. On 10 cannons, which I feel awful for doing these because a lot of these just feel awful. Mm-hmm. For the 110 RPM kinetic slot, right now I'm in love with Kremel's Dagger.
Yeah.
It's like it's
on my hunter. It's actually kind of fun.
Yeah. It's very, very nice. It's the monstrous range stat. Like, Better Devils can reach out and touch you because it cheats with explosive rounds. Kremel's does it just with its range. It's like, holy crap. I mean, I was getting like similar ranges with Kremel's that I would see like with Better Devils, and it's just like, so essentially in my mind, there's like nothing second. Like, get Kremel's. Do what's your best, get Kremel's. But I did list Home for the Lost, which is a new 110. So it's like engram available. It's like random where it will pop up. And then Bad News. A distant second. Again, no 110 energies. For the 140 RPM, I did list out the Old Fashioned. as versus like a lot of the other ones, because I believe the old fashioned has like kill clip or reactive reload, has a damage buff, which a lot of people are gravitating towards that one. Old fashioned 140, old fashioned, there you are. Yeah, skill clip. And with drop mag, I mean, it can reload fast because drop mag, for those that don't know, just gives a huge boost to reload. And then like, yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of, I think. But yeah, it's should be nice, but I mean, again, yeah.
Shouldn't is a very
yeah. Like on paper, it's nice, and like I said, once you get going, like it's going to be beastly.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the 140 energy, it's like this is another one like the 600 RPM energy auto rifles. Like my opinion's like kind of changed here and there, but annual skate, which if I can find that tab really really fast, answer is no. Annual skate is primarily found on Arcology, or on the Arcology, so that's Titan. I mean, you can find it like in gunsmith packages as well, but you're going to have a better shot of getting it by turning in on Titan. Which, that's, for those that don't know, that's kind of how the planetaries work, is the fact that all the planetary weaponry can be gotten as a secondary reward from the gunsmith, or other quote-unquote other rewards, like engrams and crap, or certain ones, I think. Actually, I think it's primarily other rewards on the gunsmith. So you can get an annual skate from the gunsmith, but you're just going to have a very much easier time trying to get these weapons from their planetary sources. Yeah. Then we have the 150 RPM kinetic, Midnight Coup, all the way. If
that's the raid, right?
Yeah, that's raid, and the only other competitor in that slot that's legendary is Dire Promise from Dead Orbit, which, like I said, Midnight Coup just
craps all over.
Dire Promise has like two very strong stats in range and stability, but it's just Midnight Coup has a better spread, like all around. Like it does. So Midnight Coup doesn't have anything super super strong stat wise, but it's just the fact that it's baseline a little better. Mm-hmm. 150 energy. Coming out kind of on top is Jack Queen King 3 from the Lost Prophecies. Followed very closely by Imset, the Imset HC4 and Shattered Piece, both of which Shattered Piece is Nessus and Imset is Gunsmith. So yeah. And then the 180 RPM, initially I say just don't.
Avoid it.
Yeah. But a Cold Sweat from the new Trials Energy. Why did that list that as kinetic? That's energy. Oops. Either way, there's only like 3 choices right now. I really say don't. Like Nature of the Beast for... Yeah, that's kinetic. No, Nature of the Beast is energy too. Boy, I screwed that one up. Anyway, just don't. They're not that great. It's like, and it's not even really like their stats per se. The stats aren't. It's the archetype in general. It's just really, really weird. Like, hopefully they do something with the overall sandbox pass to this archetype. Actually, yeah, if I just consider this as... But yeah, there's only 3 options, so... And then there's pulse rifles, which, as I said, but for at least 320 RPM, the slower fire rate,
it's the
pulse rifles, high impact. Whew, Jesus.
The Einstein or Einstein or however fuck.
Right.
They really
Haka weapons, in particular, like Haka. Some Omalon, but yeah, Haka weapons. Holy crap! But yeah, for the 320 kinetics, Machina Day 4. It's definitely like at least stat spread and like head and shoulders, like I said. Disrespectful Stare does come close, without, like I said, limit from a more general standpoint. We go all the way down to the 360 RPM energy weapons, which of course, like I said, best is going to be Inaugural Address from the raid, which I haven't used too much, but it does seem to have like a good stable type grouping. And then more in general, Impromptu 49, which is a new one. And actually, I think that's from somewhere else. Crap. Impromptu. That's not you. That's you. That's you. And there's only one 360 kinetic anyway, so it's like, okay, no. That's definitely like just a general good luck finding that one. Because it is a Curse of Osiris weapon, and those just, if they're not attached to someone like Crucible and Vanguard and crap, then good luck. 450 RPM kinetic. There's really one choice. That's Nightshade. So,
Nightshade.
Yeah. So, 450 energy. It's a small pool, but Infinite Paths definitely does. From Lost Prophecy definitely does like perform better, but then after that, it's like the general options. There's only two left: Nurgle or Agenda. Agenda actually does come out on top, at least stat wise.
Once again, these are just by stats, not by feel.
This isn't really like taking into account, like I said, feel or even like their perks in a lot of cases. Let's see, 540, which is your fast fire rate. That's going. So for kinetic, there's only three choices, but I mean, Time Worn Spire does have the better stats. Close general second is Autumn Wind from the Crucible. And then there are two 540 energy in the game right now. Heart of Time, which, like I said, should have been the reason why Future War Cult won the first one. But, Darkest Before from Trials of the Nine. That's, like I said, head and shoulders pretty much better. So, yeah. Crap. Then we have rolling into Scout Rifles. 150 RPM kinetics. You're going to look at Garden Progeny.
That's the
Lost Prophecy.
First Lost Prophecy you get, right?
Yeah. If you've gotten Curse of Osiris, this is the first one you've gotten. That's the Guiding Sight is a close second to it, or a close definite recommendation. The Guiding Sight. Where is this? Oh, that's Iron Banner. That makes sense. And then does not compute from a general source, which is a Crucible 150. See, 180 RPM kinetics. There's only two, at least stat one, like Call to Serve and Nameless Midnight, and Nameless Midnight from Vanguard. This is just better stat wise. And of course, that's another one that perks just kind of also lend to that one, because that's the one with explosive rounds. So, yeah. 180 RPM energy slot. And actually, I have no like limited source. It's like Metronome 52, which is a new one that's found out in the wild. And then a close second to that is Tango 45, which is a gunsmith gun. And yes, there's a Trials of the Nine, The End, but it just didn't quite stack up stat-wise to those. 200 RPM, which is going to be your Mida archetype. And of course, I mean, To be honest, the reason, like, there's only one legendary choice in this archetype, and that's Purpose from Trials of the Nine.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that this thing almost stacks up to Mida, I mean, it's only missing, it's missing 20 points of reload, which, I mean, that's kind of Mida's thing, is to reload fast. And it's missing like 30 points of aim assist, which, again, is another Mida thing, is heavy aim assist. So, I mean, other than that, I mean, it's not, I mean, it stacks, like, very well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, even though it's the only option, like, I listed that because, like, yeah, this thing can stack against Mida. Yeah, that deserves a mention for sure. For the 200k energy, I definitely go Pleiades Corrector for Future War Cult, and the Conspirator from the Raid, and then a more generic source is Manananananananana, from the Gunsmith. So yeah. And then last but not least in this one, the 260 RPM, which is the Feist Rapid Fires. Head and Shoulders Above is Frostmire's Hex. I mean, it's just, that's the thing.
It also feels the best.
Oh, yeah. But, and then, of course, the only other option that you really have for General is Black Scorpion. So, there's that. I say sidearms. Yeah, I'm going to save those just in case something actually happens to them. But I will say for the vastly popular Omelon archetype of sidearms, Last Hope is like the generic choice for sure. Mm-hmm. But get behind that Traveler's Judgment 5 from Lost Prophecy.
Yeah, I've been playing with that
Come
one.
on.
I got that one this week, and I like those weapons. I like the aesthetics of those weapons, and it felt like the way it's just the grouping. I think is the most the thing I can say loudest about it. It doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a little laser beam in your hand.
It is. I mean, it's one of those things. It's like on paper, it's head and shoulders above, and then you get a hold of it, and it's like, oh. Yeah. So yeah. So
that's one of the feels versus how it feels versus how it works on paper.
Yeah, I mean, and it just happens to like line up perfectly in this situation because, like I said, the number has really no right to feel as good as it feels. I'm going to say that right now. I love using it, yes, but the fact that the paper, it should not be where it is, like feel-wise. I don't think, but I like the way it feels. It probably is because of the ricochet rounds and the range that it has. But yeah, so SMGs. Of course, I mean, there's only like 3 choices for Kinetic 600 SMGs. It's like, and they're all good options because actually, I think at the Atalanta, in like many circumstances, has better stats than Antiope. But then again, Antiope has kill clip, so you can't. But Abjugator from Trials is just like better. So there's that.
What about the stochastic variable?
Well, I'm getting to those because
that's a whole. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a whole different. That's a whole different.
Yeah, it's a different archetype.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I had to treat like a lot of these archetypes very differently because the 900 energies. Well, I mean, there's 2 different archetypes of 900s of 900 RPMs that do slightly variable damage. And then there's within some of these 900 RPMs are the Omelons that have phase magazine that switch them to 600 RPMs. So this became like a kind of a miniature nightmare to juggle. But I based them off of like the 900 RPMs. Just at 900 RPMs is definitely going to be Soul Pariah. Is one of the better ones. It functions like a Omelon SMG because it does have phase mag, but it is from the Lost Prophecy. A close second to that one is the Mida Mini Tool. And then, like, I call this generic. I mean, yeah, the Mini Tool is easy to get, but just in case you didn't go through it, Death Adder is probably the better among for a generic feel. But then we have the Phase Mag SMGs, which I did stack differently among themselves. But again, Soul Pariah, I mean, it just has those better stats. As a close second, it is Stochastic Variable. And then for a generic, Phosphorus. And then we have 900, the other 900 RPMs, which, at least for energy, is a Hero's Burden from Iron Banner or Foggy Notion. Foggy Notion, I can't remember offhand where you get Foggy Notion.
I think Foggy Notion is just a general drop.
It could be. But that is the hurry up adaptive Foggy Notion. There you are. Hey, buddy. Arcology.
Oh, okay.
And then we get into the power weapons.
Ooh.
Which I had to treat these a little differently in some instances. I actually had to look at very specific stats, and regardless of like, these were more focused because stat spreads, like when it comes to a lot of these power weapons, like let's just rocket launchers for example. Mm-hmm. Stability doesn't matter.
No.
Your handling doesn't really matter that much. Reload only matters in PvE, really. I mean, to a degree in PvP, sure.
You get 1 in PvP.
Well, you get 2, so I mean, yeah, but you know, so I mean, there's certain things you don't need to consider. But yeah, for fusions, basically in that first Archchirp.
By the way, Des, real quick, when you said power weapons, it was almost like you said Mufasa, and I was like, "Ooh, same game."
Right. So for the high impact archetype, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the fusions that require 4 bolts to kill. Wizened Rebuke from Iron Banner.
Oh yeah.
Like, holy crap! And his perk is like, at least for PvE, the perk is very nice. Following up from generic sources is Conjecture TSC, which might be generic. Yeah, it's a generic Curse of Osiris drop. And then beyond that is the Arantel FR4 from the Gunsmith. The next archetype, the Adaptive Frames, which again, if I'm not mistaken, are 5 bolts to kill. Timeline's Vertex from Future Warcult is definitely a hefty choice, and I can't remember what perks that has now. I was going to say something, but I might have been Snap, which isn't bad for a fusion. But of course, the more generic choice is also main ingredient, because Rampage.
Yeah.
Well, and Rampage. Like, holy crap, you can't beat that. So, for the last archetype, well, actually not really the last, but the Rapid Fire Frame archetype, yeah, there's 2 choices. They're both things. But if you're going to use one, I mean, I always loved it because of the name. And that's Critical Sass from the Crucible. Because, like I said, name. The stats are better.
We like puns here at RNG Cast, if you didn't know already.
So, I mean, it's got a great name. The stats are great. Or better, at least, than the Cartesian Coordinate. But, of course, I mean, Cartesian does have the auto-loading holster. And it's kind of a little neck and neck for stat-wise, but, yeah. Critical Sass. I mean, come on. And then for the linears, which there aren't a lot.
3?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4.
4?
Or maybe 4 with the addition of the Dead Ender.
So 3 right now.
Yeah, 3 right now, but of course, sadly, this choice comes down to Tarantula, which is primarily found on Io. It just, like I said, it's like, just from stat-wise, it's just got the better, like, the more baseline things. And it has a monstrous range stat, so.
It just feels better.
Yeah. So, yeah, and it doesn't even have, like, the highest aim assist. Like, all right, so for reference, if you're looking for, like, the high aim assist linear fusion, and you like those, then you're definitely going to want to pledge Dead Orbit and get the Dead Ender. But yeah, other than that, let's see, Tarantula does have nice... Doesn't it have... Oh, but that's the wrong one. Tarantula snapshot sights, which definitely isn't bad. So, snipers, because, those are amazing. Which, I mean, some of them actually feel really good. But A, I'm not a sniper in PvP, and B, I'm usually using a sniper in PvE. But first archetype, 72 RPM. The choices are, of course, primarily, like I said, the Long Walk from Trials. More generically, Show of Force, which is an EDZ gun, and the Gentleman Vagabond from the Crucible. The 90 RPMs, up and coming at some point. Oh wait, I just realized they have not added the Domino. Huh. Which is a future War Cult sniper. So at some point, whenever that comes out, that's going to be like a good grab. And followed very closely with Maxim 11. Mm-hmm. And then from New Monarchy, which will be available to get once Faction Rallies come back. Let's see. More generically, the Elegy 49, which is a gunsmith sniper, and The Morning Comes, which is just an engram. So good luck on finding that one, because it can come from additional words, and come from, of course, engrams. It can come from lots of things. Oh yeah, and the Eye of Foresight, which is also a future War Cult sniper, like third place basically, for the limited recommendations. Let's see, and then the 140 RPMs for snipers. Alone as a God from the raid just has an amazing name.
Yeah, I'm about to say, one of the best names for a gun ever.
I know, right? Followed closely by the Copperhead 4SN, which is a Viced sniper that is available from the Gunsmith. Mm-hmm. But you gotta say, like, its weakness is definitely its range for the Copperhead. Like, it has bad range, but everything else is, like, pretty good to really good. So there's that. And also the Persuader. Persuader. From Vanguard. That's going to be from Zavala. Shotguns. I tried to really weigh range into the shotguns, because, I mean, shotguns in D1, at least in my opinion, like, at least when considering shotguns for D2, not a lot has changed, because range is going to be one of your most important factors. And like I said, regardless of spread, like, you got to consider, like, range. It's like what has best range, and then what has comparable range. But for the 45 RPMs, the aggressive shotguns, the decent, actually, it just has a really good spread too, and the best range, is a Sudden Death, which is a Trials of the 9 shotgun. And then the fact that it also has Slide Shot, which can increase its range after. So, I mean, just happened. And then Somer-led D, or Somer-led D, has.
Somer-led?
It's a gunsmith shotgun. It's a Haka, as you can tell by the struggle of the name, and it also has a good spread and comparable range. So, yeah. Let's see. For the 55 RPMs, which are your precision, these are your slug shotguns. Gnora's Axe. I haven't used any, like most of these, FYI, because I am awful with slug shotguns. But Gnora's Axe, again, monstrous range, and such. And I did have, like, its stats weren't amazing compared, but the Unification 567, that is, from New Monarchy.
Monarchy.
Had to have like an honorable mention because it's full auto. So it is a 2-tap monster. So there's that. And then from a generic source, First In, Last Out, which is, again, an incredible name. It is in Graham Gun, so good luck there. And then basically, the only option for the 90 RPM shotguns, Hawthorns.
Now, when you talk about the Ganora's axe, I'm playing with it actually now, and it's a nice little shotgun. I don't like those projection sights.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. The service. Yeah.
I'd rather like a pin. I guess would be the best way to put it, like an actual sight.
Yeah. I can see that. It's definitely rough getting used to. The days of the PDX 45 definitely got me used to the Suro sights for sure.
See, I never ran the projection. I always, if the gun comes with a projection sight, I always switch it out to a more physical sight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was definitely with you, and I definitely usually ran the more physical ones, but I did occasionally, like, just to try and get used to it. So yeah, I've definitely there with you, man. Yeah. I'm definitely there with you.
I mean, I do like the precision slugs though. I when I played Black Ops 2, there was a precision slug shotgun that I used a lot, and I mean, when I picked the I think it was the first the New Monarchy shotgun, I was like, oh, this is a slugger. Ooh, hello, baby. Did you miss me? Type of thing.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, like I said, 90 RPM. The only option really is Hawthorns.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, not only because it's full auto, so it's a 2-tap monster, but also because it has the best range. And so, I mean, and it has the best reload speed. So it's hands down. And you can get Hawthorns from the EDZ. And then the new 100 RPM, the rapid fire shotguns. Hilarious side note. This archetype actually made me realize I forgot to add the raid layer weapons to the spreadsheet because they weren't, when I first added these weapons, they weren't even visible in the databases in the API. So yeah, those are now in the Featherstone, because at least stat wise, like I said, for it being a range monster, Zenith of Your Kind from the raid layer, which I know both me and Buster have.
Same day it dropped.
Same day.
The same clear.
Its perks, meh. Sure. I mean, they're not awful because it does have auto-loading holster and pulse monitor. So, I mean, those are, I think that even pulse monitor is this when it reloads when you're critical, yeah?
Yeah.
So, I mean, so it has like reload cheating perks, which is weird because I think its reload is actually pretty good. Reload, yeah, it's got the best reload in its archetype. So, I mean, whatever. And a close second to that one, I mean, there's only 3 choices, and 2 of them aren't even, one of the Deicide from Future War Cult. It is another weapon that it's in the database, but they're gonna have to have a third faction rally in order to introduce this gun. So, so yeah, that just might be something that's floating around in the database that may get skipped over, but I don't know. But yeah, there may only be 2 choices. There's definitely 2 choices right now. Like I said, for the stat spread, Zenith of Your Kind, Perfect Paradox, the other one, which is you get the Lost Prophecy for Perfect Paradox after doing 5 Lost Prophecy Forges, I believe.
Yes.
If I remember properly.
5.
Yeah. So it has like... So you're not even really missing out on anything by using Perfect Paradox because they have the same range as Zenith, which, again, like for shotguns, range is king, essentially. And every other stat is like very, very close. It actually has better handling, so it has a slightly better ADS. And Perfect Paradox has Rampage. It is super fun in PvE. Holy crap. You just pop a couple like trash mobs and you just melt a freaking major, man. Holy crap. Whew, it's nice. And then we get into rockets. Now I know everyone has their already has in their mind, you know, the quote unquote best rockets to use. Now for rockets, like I said, it's different like things to take into consideration for stats. And basically for these quote unquote best rockets, I look at velocity, because velocity is one thing you really want to look at when it comes to rockets, because that's basically what's going to get the rocket there faster. The faster the rocket gets there, the harder it is to counter. So for the high impact archetype, Sins of the Past, because it has 1 point higher velocity than Blue Shift. That's legitimate. And then the fact that Sins of the Past also has Cluster Bombs, so it is a PvE monster, and it has the better velocity, making it a PvP monster. It just wins all around. Then there is the Hawk of Precision rockets, which are tracking rocket launchers. There are two choices, and Morgan does have the better velocity. But that's not one of... I don't know. These tracking rockets are kind of meh. Next is the Adaptive, and King here. It's kind of a close tie between the Classical 42, which definitely gets a mention, even though it has a slightly lower velocity, sure, but again, it does get its mention because it does have clusters. But of course, the better velocity is Pentatonic 48, which is a gunsmith rocket launcher. And then for, what do they call it? Aggressive? Again, only three choices, but hilarious. And again, hilariously. Like, it just kind of happens. But, yeah, their velocity and the recommendation is the Tiebreaker from Crucible. Again, hilarious name. Love Crucible power weapons for that. And, of course, Curtain Call, because it does have the slower velocity, but cluster. Grenade launchers. Which, grenade launchers, again, I treat it like rocket launchers, looking primarily at velocity for stats. But also, this is where I started looking into like the perks and what it's capable of. For aggressive 150 RPM grenade launcher, yeah, there's two choices, but hands down, Behringer's. Because Behringer's has sticky nades, essentially. Mm-hmm. So they stick to things. Very nice. And does a heaping amount of damage if you stick someone, and then it explodes. Oh, yeah. For the Adaptive, 120 RPM, like I said, it's kind of a velocity king, but just it does have like a lot of overall good stats. Like I said, velocity is a little slower, but I Am Alive from the Eater of Worlds raid layer followed very closely, which does have the best velocity, again, hilariously, because it is the Crucible's play of the game. So yeah, and that play of the game is actually proc stat also, so it is actually pretty useful. You're never going to get a direct hit on it, I don't think. I don't even think it's possible because of its proximity detonation. So it's always going to be a 2-hit, but yeah. And then an honorable mention is Wicked Sister, for reasons that I can't remember, from Vanguard. I'm sure I added it for a reason. Let's see. And then the 100 RPM Precisions, which are these the ones that where you have to release for them to explode? Like hold the trigger and then release for them to explode? I'm wanting to say so.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards yes, but I don't want to say no.
Let me see. Precision. And I didn't copy down the grenade launcher precision frame in my very almost comprehensive perk reference. Amazing. Good going, Raven. Anyway, so definitely, like I said, best velocity goes to the Sunrise GL4, which is in Curse of Osiris additional weapon, no real source. Following that is the Orthrus, which is from Nasus. And then the lightweights, which are your single-loaded, single-firing grenade launchers. Yeah. A, why? B, doesn't really matter. Like, their stats are very close. Their velocities are very close. I didn't even look at I did look at, like, their perks, and they're gimmicky, so there's... It's like using either of them, they're going to be very similar to one another, so pick your poison. Good luck. Might as well use Fighting Lions, I guess. Mm-hmm. Because, yeah. And that's, like, holy crap, everything.
That was the info.
Yeah, that's like I said, that's my personal list of keepers. These are things I'm looking out for because of their stat spreads. So yeah, if that helps you at all in deciding weapons, you're welcome. If not, yeah, oh well, because I'm still going to use it.
Well, it gave me the go for the Goliard. Because I don't think I've ever used it. I don't think I've ever had one drop, to be honest.
Galliard? I can't remember, but I've always, because for a while I've been stuck in this whole thing. The reason why I went through them is because I've been stuck in this whole thing that I've been using, Restoration from New Monarchy. Mm-hmm. Which, yeah, feels pretty good. But at the same time, it's like, so Martyr's Make is actually better? So it's going to give me some, because that, and like I said, Restoration and things like that I'm going to keep anyways. At least for now.
Yeah.
After the sandbox update and after I can actually experiment with all these weapons, I might even be deleting some some of these even faction rally weapons and such just to clear out the space, and to keep options low, because it's not really even for me about vault space. It's the fact that I keep so much stuff.
Yeah.
And then for a while I kept it on my character, so then it came to okay, it's like when I was playing Crimson Days, I used 3 Graves Pulse Rifle because it's what I had on my Warlock, but I never use it. So it's like, why do I have it? Why? I want to keep viable options on all of my characters. So, yeah, and I just want to declutter the amount of options that, in a haste, I may think is viable, and it turns out to be not a good idea.
Not so much so.
Yeah, not a good idea. So that's one reason I made this list, is pretty much in response to Crimson Days and trying to use a high impact pulse rifle. Which, I mean, it did decent damage. It's just, no, don't do it. But yeah, so like I said, once these sandbox changes come and I'm actually able to use a lot more of these weapons, a lot of these are going to go bye-bye. A lot, because I have so many freaking weapons. So I don't even have a vault space problem yet. But even keeping viable options on my characters, if Dim will hurry up, would have 155 weapons. Oh no, that's general. In my vault. So that leads to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 18. Oh, crap. That's a lot. All right. There's just a lot, and I'd like to declutter that just a little.
Yeah, let's step that down just a touch, huh?
Oh, wait, no. So, yeah, general is actually weapons and armor. So I have 155. Weapons, armor, ghosts. Well, a few ghosts, but not many ghosts. And a green ship that you get from the campaign, because I'm a bit hoarder. Yes, I have all the white armor and weapons you start the game with. So, And yes, I have a green rifle in my vault. Don't look at it. It's a Suros throwback, okay?
Don't at me.
No, I legitimately have a green auto rifle. Because it is the Suros throwback.
Yeah.
And the only reason I got it, because it is literally what it says it is.
A Saros throwback.
Because back before Suros became an actual weapon foundry, whoops, accidentally equipped that to my hunter. No, go back to the vault. That's where you belong. Yeah, before Suros became a fleshed out foundry, there were a few Suros weapons, and there were a couple Suros auto rifles. Looked nothing like the regime, and looked like the Suros throwback. Yes, the Suros throwback is a literal throwback of old D1 vanilla Suros guns. So I had to have it. It's like, you know what? You're green. You're not even like within the realm of, oh, this green is amazing. No, it's just aesthetically. I want it because of what it is.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. I have things that just are in the vault that I'm looking. My vault is damn near full because I have one every weapon just because I'm a collector and I have to.
But yeah, so yeah, that and I just cannot wait for these sandbox changes. Like, hurly crap! Like, make pulses usable,
viable
again. Yeah, like
not even great.
Yeah, not even great. I'm okay with usable because I mean, come on, I've went a long time like with crappy hand cannons, which we went back to, but that's fine. Because maybe they'll get some love. Either way, I have two hand cannons that I do enjoy using. Which, of course, one of which everyone's enjoying using because it's better devils.
Pete, come here.
And then Kremls. Like I said, definitely play around with Kremls. Kremls is nice. Like I've today, Junior. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with Kremls, like in Crimson Days and just in PvP in general. It's been very nice.
Yeah. So I think I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think Crimson Days is kind of a success, man. Like, it really. I mean, I've seen people who haven't done any Destiny content on YouTube come back and do a Crimson Days should you come back series. I mean, it's definitely a step in the right direction when it comes to not putting stuff behind Tess Everest, because everybody apparently hates Tess Everest.
But I love Tess's voice actor.
Yeah.
Like is amazing.
Aaron's son. So.
But yeah, I mean, it's nice. I mean, it is on one end kind of sad to still say it's like, oh, this is what we need in D2, like blah blah blah. But other than that, I mean, yeah, it's a very much success. The only thing that really saddens me also about this talk isn't even the fact that people have their opinions, which that's fair, but it's more the fact that it almost seems like nobody wants to get used to a new system. Which, I mean, I don't know, because Destiny just feels like Destiny for its entire 10-year stretch. I don't know if I could take that.
No.
I mean, yeah, D1, yeah, sure, it had its fun, and got people going back and playing it. For some reason, you're still seeing it with some rose-colored glasses, because I, for one, remember the complaints of sticky nades and shoulder charges, and a game where it was viable to literally run across the map and just kill people with your shoulder charge.
Yeah.
Because you're a Titan and you can skate and you can cross gaps really fast. And there's an enemy, so shoulder charge. You're done. Unless you're in super.
And then you're almost done.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not going to say D1 was bad, because I mean, it had its fun, yes. But a lot of things people reference, like that they want back, is a lot of busted things.
Yeah.
And sure, the busted things can be fun, Mayhem showing us that. But again, I remember Mayhem in D1, and like a majority of people detesting it. But then again, I started not to like Mayhem in D1 because it was accentuating these broken aspects. It's like, oh, you mean you're tired of getting killed by one-hit sticky nades? Well, here's a Warlock that we're going to match you with that has double nades. Oh, yeah, they're sticky. Oh, yeah.
They regen every 4 seconds.
So, yeah, there's good luck. It's like, oh. So, yeah. So, I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to bash, like, because I had a lot of fun in D1. A lot. I had more fun in D1 than I should have, probably.
I definitely got my money's worth.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But, I mean, I don't know. You're not going to make me going back to D1. And, like, a lot of people are going back and playing private matches. I might lose friends if I play private matches with people in D1. Just to remember. Oh, God. Yeah. Just to remember, like, everything to go through.
Yeah, you definitely. I mean, I think I've said it. I'm not going to go back. Like, if you decide to go back, that's your choice. 100%.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
play whatever, don't apologize. But
yeah.
I'm not going to go back and.
Like I said, yeah, I'm definitely not bashing people that go back and play D1 private matches because.
No. I
mean, it's your choice. It's just I would not be able to do it, essentially. And I've heard a lot of people say, it's like, oh, yeah, not a lot of people are using Icebreaker and this and that and the other because it's like, yeah, probably because they were tired of it in D1. It's like, you know what? I have a choice not to use this, which is something. While in D1, a lot of people didn't realize, like, oh, I have to use Icebreaker to go around this, that, or the other. So it's like now D2's taught people, it's like, you don't have to be a douchebag and run this. But yeah, but like I said, I myself, I've not gone back to D1. I'm not experiencing that again. Especially now in a time where I'm actually seeing improvement in D2's system. Like I told Buster before, I actually looked on DTR and noticed that my competitive KD, like across all my characters, is a 1.01. And it's like, nice. I'm actually stoked that I'm capable of maintaining above a 1 anywhere, let alone competitive.
Yeah.
Because, holy crap. I mean, I haven't been amazing, sure. But I've been, that's just KD. Like I said, that's pure KD. That's not like the game tracked, actually, as I found out, the game tracked KAD, because I've mistakenly labeled it as KDA.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, thanks to Destiny Tracker's new FAQ, they explain exactly what everything is. Your KD is your kills, death. KDA is kills plus your assists, but your assists are divided by 2. So assists do not actually, do not actually count as much as a full kill. But then there's the KAD, which is your kills and your assists divided by your death, and this is actually your in-game efficiency.
Hold on a second. Do you hear that?
Oh, I hear that.
That's Pete fucking with Bella behind the TV, so I cannot see what they're doing. So I don't know who's making that sound. I've had Bella for almost 12 years. I've never heard her make that sound if that's her. If it's Pete, then that's fine.
So you're in the KAD, which is your in-game efficiency, it actually counts kills and assists at the same level. And this is actually shown in your in-game, the emblem that tracks your efficiency. That's also where that is.
Yeah.
Which hilariously, it's in-game, but actually not within the API coding. hilarious. But where is it? So yeah, right now, yeah, my PvP. Where is it? Okay, quick play. Yeah, my KD itself is still 0.95.
Yeah.
Which I think is, I mean, it's definitely around where D1 was because I went through a year of mistakes. So I'm actually kind of stoked to see if I can improve that. Now that I actually don't have like 2 years worth of crappy PvP play weighing me down. And yeah, my competitive is a 1.01 still. So PvP overall, I'm at a 0.96. So it's not too bad.
Yeah.
But I wonder if they take into account doubles. Oh yeah, gold elo and doubles. Apparently platinum in survival somehow.
What?
And platinum in clash. I mean, all right, cool, whatever.
Somehow I'm a double. I don't. Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I'm actually starting to see like improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my PvP, I'm actually hilariously, I am changing like my game mode because I'm actually following the blueberries, especially in competitive. It's like I'll actually stop for that split second and let everyone else rush. Exactly.
Yep.
Now, especially for competitive, like 9 times out of 10, you'll have like 2 blueberries going one way, and then your other blueberry going completely different.
Mm-hmm.
I might be a douchebag for this, but follow the 2 blueberries instead of the 1.
Yeah. 2 guys taking bullets is better than me taking a bullet.
Exactly. So I mean, so yeah, so I'm learning like the ways of working around people without communication, which is really weird, but is like I said, I'm starting to feel. I mean, I'm starting to feel in a spot where I'm more okay, basically, because I do like I4v4s.
Mm-hmm.
I do definitely wish for some changes in the sandbox because, you know, again, we are not without our criticisms. I do feel sometimes the kills could be very slightly lowered because I do appreciate, you know, the system that does like reward more tactical play as versus, you know, the one-man army sensation. Still, those one-man army moments are fun.
Oh yeah.
And I do question, like a lot of people saying like D2 has a low skill gap. It's like, but does it really? Because of team shooting? It's like, let us compare, you know, the ideas of team shooting to the supposedly higher skill gap game of D1 that had one-hit KO abilities on 10 10-second cooldowns. Because there were definitely people I was capable of outplaying. Several people I was capable of outplaying, sure. But, like, in their dying breath, you know, they were capable of hitting their grenade button at just the right time to stick me in the face right after they die and get a trade.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what infuriated me in D1. It wasn't the fact that even that there was, you know, one-hit KO abilities, whatever, but the fact that, you know, he just happened to hit his grenade button so the animation goes off and this little red orb just sticks to you and you're dead. And because of that, your KD suffers. Like, which, I mean, yeah, KD isn't like a sign of skill, but still, it's like, I outplayed this guy. It's like I'm full health. I got the drop on him. Everything worked out perfectly. Sticky nade. All right, cool. Yeah. So, yeah, that infuriated me to no like degree, and it, like, in my opinion, it allowed lower skill people to compete at a higher level because of it. And then, of course, you have your Titans that were running around, freaking shoulder charge this and equip a shotgun, and let's left like the force field that Titans had in front of them with Juggernaut.
Yeah, we weren't in a better place. We were just in a place that we didn't have a comparison.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there were things I did not like in D1, and I'm going to stop talking about them because I feel my blood pressure raising. It's just the memory, like, whoo, oh God. So yeah, it's about the closest to a salty raven you're going to hear. But yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, I argue the skill gap. Like, sure, the overall, skill ceiling was probably higher in D1 because of the faster time to skill and ability cooldowns. I mean, sure, amazing players could, like the clip I've heard a lot of people talk about reminding them of D1 days was Luminosity in a tournament taking on like the entire freaking team by himself, playing a Night Stalker, constantly tossing out smokes and nades and dodging this to break tracking on that. So I mean, yes, he is an incredibly skilled player, but he was also using everything at his advantage. So I mean, tomato. I don't know. Like I said, hopefully, like I know a lot of people aren't gonna like it, but hopefully, things keep changing in Destiny because, yeah, it's gonna suck for the first while because you're gonna have to get used to a new system, but at the same time, I kind of hope it keeps changing because I just don't muchly. That's why I didn't get into Call of Duty. That's why I got out of sports games like wrestling games and stuff because they become the same freaking thing, and it's like, yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's fun and it's great, but I like pretty much every franchise I've been a part of. Final Fantasy changes drastically from game to game. Like story and mechanics can change drastically, especially nowadays. And then from fighting games, like, tell me a fighting game that hasn't changed drastically from sequel to sequel. I mean, if you look at the prime example, Street Fighter, everyone's heard of Street Fighter. It's like they'll have massive changes, not even from sequel to sequel, but from like expansion and version to expansion and version. It's like they just released for Street Fighter V, like the Street Fighter Arcade Edition, and it added like new skills for your characters to use and modified that system. So, like I said, I mean, a lot of things that I'm into changed drastically, especially from one iteration to the next.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's why I'm okay with D2. And why, because, I mean, sure, fair enough. Like, a lot of this community probably came from CODs and stuff and, more stable shooters. But then again, a lot of us didn't. So, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, that's just my opinions. Potato. I'm not going to down you for not liking D2 for whatever reason. It's fair. Because, like I said, I'm weird.
And also, as a community, we have a very, like you just mentioned, we have a very unique situation in the fact that we have a community that comes from either shooters or traditional role RPGs.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, it's never, oh, where'd you come from? Ah, well, you came from this. Ah, cool, okay. Or, where'd you come from? Oh, I came from COD, or I came from, I don't know, any other shooters that could be listed at the time. But typically, it's like, where'd you come from? Oh, I'm a WoW player, or I like RPGs, and then my buddy told me that this is kind of like a mix of a shooter role playing game. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, it is, sweet, and then I got into it, which is typically how most of the stories go on how you got into this game, into how you got into Destiny.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, like I've said before, I mean, yeah, my primary buys for my console were RPGs. Like, I'm a PlayStation guy because I was following Final Fantasy. I mean, that's a lot of RPGs, and yeah, I mean, I don't know, because like I said, it's a diverse crowd. Because I mean, a lot of the highest known people, in our community, like Broman, he was a speedrunner. he like did speed runs, I think, of Borderlands.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like the speedrunning community. That's like an entirely different monster. Like this is well, not really a monster, but like a really different like subsection of Twitch is like a speedrunning community. Which I definitely suggest. Like, oh my god, like watching speedrun. Oh, holy crap! Especially Mega Man speedruns. Whoo!
Oh, yeah.
Watching people beat in like 30 minutes what it took me an entire summer to do when I was a kid. It's kind of heartbreaking, but my god, is it amazing. But yeah, so I mean, we've just touched. We touched MMO players, we've touched speedrunners, we've touched shooters and RPG guys, and I don't know. So I mean, it's a vast community, and like I said, you definitely see like a lot of the complaints of D2 systems from the Slayers, which I mean, a lot of these people, you take a look at their channel history, and maybe they come from more of a COD background, which, again, nothing wrong with that, because good God, does it take some freaking reflexes to properly play COD.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus. Like, I found that out for the Black Ops 3 beta that I did play, and it's like, it's a crap. I'm trying to be like tactical and look around corners and crap, and that just ends up getting me killed because I don't have my weapon ready, and they're just running and gunning, and it's like, Jesus. So yeah, it gave me some perspective on on that, but yeah. So yeah, people that are good at shooters and such. I mean, if you don't like D2, that's fine, because I understand your plight. And sure, you're probably into fast pace and probably think tactical plays like ring. At the same time, it's like that's what apparently us less skilled individuals have to cling to. Is our minds. I'm not gonna have the reflexes to compete with like the better of the Crucible people. That's for sure. But as long as I can kill you a couple times, I'm fine. Like if I can outthink you a little, it's like outplaying. Was it Crimson Doubles or was it just in I think it was just in a competitive Crucible match. I actually outplayed a guy with a sword. He was 5 foot away from me, and it was a quick fang. But what he did is he took out 2 of my teammates. I think it was actually survival as well. I mean, he took out 2 of my teammates, and I saw him, and of course he knows I saw him, so he goes and ducks behind a corner. So I toss a pulse nade. I can't remember if I was on my Titan or Warlock. Either way, I tossed a pulse nade down. It actually came up short from affecting him, which, again, we both knew. So I went and got closer to his corner, and I had stepped close enough to lure him out. And then, actually, I think it might have been my Warlock. But either way, I jumped and glided backwards to where all of a sudden he's sitting in what's left of pulse nade. I dropped down to melee him. It's done. I mean, just those moments where everything just works out perfectly. I love those moments. You think something out, you have a plan in head, and everything just works according to plan. It's like those are the moments I try for. And as a result, I do have a few clips I have to edit up on my PS4 now.
I mean, I still get surprised when people run through the Titan barricade.
I know, right?
It's like, what the fuck is that noise, guys? I don't even know. I'm just gonna let them fight. That's the only thing I can do.
Yeah, I was actually disgraced in Crimson Days. I had a hunter willingly go through a barrier and thrash me. Somehow. I still don't really fully understand what in the crap happened. I think I was weak anyway. Actually, that might have been it. Might have been weak and put up a barrier, like step back and put up a barrier. And he just risked it. He's like, you know what? I'm walking through, I'm meleeing to melee you. And yeah, his melee got it first. So, yeah, I mean, there's risk and reward, but I mean, boy, if I could have turned that around, though, that would have been amazing. But, oh god. And I love like, Titans that you call a Titan that relies on this barricade, and you can tell it's still not quite in general thought to shoot at the barricade. But holy crap, do I!
Oh yeah,
because
If you jump a barricade, I'm shooting you. I'm jumping you. I'm throwing a grenade over top of it.
No, I mean like shooting an enemy's barricade.
Okay, no, yeah.
It's like I'm not going to let you just sit there. No. It's like just because you throw up a barricade doesn't mean I can't have anything to do, because I mean I know, or as most people should know, barricades do not have a long lifespan in PvP, like at all.
No, they don't last long.
One person like using a forward path, it might take the full season. Maybe a little over, but not much over like a full magazine. But a forward path can bring down a barricade. No more than 2 magazines. But I'm willing to say a little over one, maybe. But either way, it doesn't take a lot of effort to bring down a barricade, and it's great, especially like using an area of effect grenade and latching it onto the face of the barricade and then just shooting until it just disappears, and seeing that Titan who seconds ago was fairly confident in his placement and being behind his barricade, until he realizes I'm still shooting and his barricade is starting to crack.
Oh no.
Titan runs away. His barricade's gone.
Yeah,
Hi. Or more accurately, here's Johnny.
Did you forget?
No, right?
Oh man, dude. So I think we're at 2 hours and 40 minutes. I mean,
it's a healthy one.
This is a healthy RNG cast. Episode
well,
90.
Destiny talk. Holy crap!
Yeah, we did. So
we can do it, guys.
See, you're welcome. No paladins. Well, there's really not much to talk about until maybe 2 more weeks.
Yeah, in another 3 weeks, there's probably going to be a lot of paladins talk. Oh, spoiler alert: Battlegrounds. But that's a squeaky toy.
Yeah, that's Pete's squeaky toy. That's his baby. That's his giraffe. So Des, go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you.
You can, as always, on Twitter at DES_Raven. Again, just enjoy conversing. I enjoy hearing your opinions about things. If they differ from mine, all the better. I can have grown conversation with people of differing opinions. At least I'm 90% sure I can. But yeah.
I'm reliably sure I can.
Yeah, pretty sure.
You can find me on Twitter at Bushknuckle13. That's Bushknuckle13. You can find this podcast, the RNG Cast, at the RNG Cast on Twitter. You can email us, therngcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from you. If you want to support us in any way, shape, or form, monetarily, we have a Patreon. That's patreon.com/therngcast. We are doing Patreon exclusive episodes for every patron, regardless of what the tiers say. I need to change those, apparently. Also, we've been saying this for a couple weeks now. We got something special for the patrons. So,
yeah.
$1 can get you something pretty dope, I think.
Quite possibly.
I mean, hopefully you think it's dope.
I mean, we might be biased in our opinion of it.
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
pretty dope.
I'm going to pat myself on the back on that one. What am I missing, Des?
Let's see, Patreon, Twitter. You can email us at therngcast@gmail.com.
Once again.
Again, for opinions and stuff.
We have a Discord. I think
We do have a Discord.
I didn't...
Which we have an updated pinned tweet, or an updated link.
Yeah.
Discord on our Twitter. Once again, if you need it, we will provide it.
Just at me. You can add me on PSN, which we've talked about before, BlisterLister113. Just make sure you put in the message RNGcast or listener or whatever. That way I know you're not some random...
And DES Raven.
Yep.
No underscores, one word. So.
And
that
being said, this is the RNGcast, episode 90.
Whew.
Wow.
Later, man.
See you all next week.